Max Caulfield is not a time traveler. Daniel Diaz is not a telekinetic. Rachel Amber is not a pyrokinetic. And spoilers, 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 spoilers for double exposure. 3, 2, 1. Safi Llewellyn Fayyad is not a shapeshifter. Welcome to part 2 of my series, Life is Strange Powers Are Not What You Think They Are. Today we will be focusing on Safi Llewellyn Fayyad of Double Exposure. So this one starts off pretty simple, right? If you played through the game already, Safi is a shapeshifter but is not, and she is actually aware that she is not in the traditional sense. Safi describes her power as being able to sense the part of the brain that perceives her with other people and giving it a little bit of a nudge to make herself appear different to them. Nor is it like she is constructing an illusionary visual and audio around her either. The real indicator of this is the cut on her cheek from the tree branch. When she does this, she is disguised as Max to Max, but when she reverts, the cut is still there. This is showing that despite the different height and face shape of her to Max, it still registers in the exact same place on her body. And again, because we know she is not physically changing her body, that means we are looking at a secret third thing. First and foremost, I do want to say, because I'm very proud of myself for this, the second Safi described her power to us, I instantly knew what the consequence of it was. I was instantly very afraid for the possible ramifications of that, and I turned out to be very right. The first implication should be somewhat obvious. Since everyone perceives Safi when she is transformed as the transformed person, it means she is not just reaching into one brain at any given time, she is reaching into many and several. Moreover, there is no single section of the brain that controls everything that Safi would need to control to be perceived differently. All 4 lobes of the brain, frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal, deal with your senses in some way, shape, or form. The pons and midbrain section of your brainstem control hearing in some way, shape, or form. Basically, if Safi is tricking everybody's brains into seeing, hearing, feeling, and smelling her differently, then, she's basically controlling their whole brain. That seems to be the general interpretation that the game is going with. However, I've had another thought while I was researching this, and I'd like to propose it to you. What if when Safi is poking other people's brains, she's not changing how she appears to them, how they perceive her? What if instead, Safi is altering their memories of what people look like? This does shrink the scope of her power, but also helps explain its somewhat more ambiguous nature. And moreover, rather than accessing the entire brain all at once, she would be accessing deeper structures, hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus. It also concentrates most of what she's doing to the temporal lobe itself. In doing this, Safi would be replacing whatever memory they have of Safi's appearance with another person's. And it isn't like she's making them forget it, it's more like the thing that she's disguising isn't herself in the physical world, but the memory of her. Part of the reason I really like this idea, although mind you, I am not committed to it, right, is that in the Eye of the Storm sequence, when you are pulling Safi's shattered pieces out of the other characters, when you ask the other characters about what it was like, they describe the sensation of being underneath this veneer of Safi and unable to do anything. This to me would mirror this action of putting a veneer of the image of Safi and how she sounds and everything over the memory of how you look at other people. So that rather than putting on a mask of other people, Safi is putting a mask of her onto the image of these other people as well. That's it for part 2. Next, we're going to be doing Daniel Diaz from Life is Strange 2. After that is going to be Max, and then once we wrap this series, we're going to be talking about Alex Chen because she is an anomaly in a lot of different ways, and I am very excited for it. But I just want you to know that no, I did not forget about my favorite character. How dare you?